first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these screws here. And these ones on the side, it looks like there are 3 there. And 3 more over here. Okay, we did in fact get access to the inside, but I just want to show you there's only 2 screws on the side. And there's 5 in the back. We took all of those out. The ones in the back, I needed to use a drill to get them out. And it's a Torx T10 bit. There are 3 in the front, and they are actually shorter than the ones in the back. So make sure you get like something to keep the screws in. But the 3 in the front, these 3 right here, are a little bit shorter than the ones that are on the side and in the back. So we have a total of 1, 2, 7, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 total screws. All right, folks, now we've got it opened up. I added a little bit of light here so it would be easier to see. I just used a hammer basically to prop it open. And this is a hinged bracket here. So basically once you have all those screws out on the sides and in the back, then you can just tip this thing up and wedge something in there to keep it up. Right now we are we're going to turn this Allen Heath M Dante card into a Behringer Wing Dante card, a Brooklyn 2 card. And I've already downloaded the software that we need basically for audio over IP. You just type in Behringer here, and the Wing 64 is the firmware that you want. I've already downloaded this. Basically, if you need to download it, you just hit the blue cloud here, and then it says copy. Once it says copy, then it takes you to imported files, and then it's in your imported files right here. So this is the firmware that we're going to use to flash the Allen Heath M Dante card. To flash the card, you go to Home, Imported Firmware Files, and then you find the card that you want to flash. In my case, it's the Allen Heath M Dante card, which is here. And we want to choose this firmware, Wing 64x64 4.2.3.13.DNT, and we want to choose override and continue. Click the box, update now. Okay, now it says reboot required, so we'll just reboot selected devices. Successful. We'll hit close. Okay. All right. So we flashed our M Dante card from Allen Heath with the Wing firmware, and now the next step is to install the Wing card into the Wing, or I'm sorry, the M Dante card into the Wing, which is here. This is the M Dante card from Allen Heath. We took it out of our GLD. We've already flashed it with the Wing firmware, like I said. So now all we have to do is uninstall it from this chassis, which is you just pry it out with those metal things there, and then pull the card like that, and then it's out of the chassis. And now this card is what gets installed into the Wing. Right here, this is the DIN for that, and you can see there's a notch on the card right there. That lines up with the notch right here. There's a notch right there. And all we got to do is install this at an angle like that, push it all the way in so the gold isn't showing, and then press down so that it clamps into place. And that's it. We've installed the Wing card into the Behringer Wing, and now all we have to do is hook it up to Dante controller, and there's also a couple of things to do on the desk, so we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so it's showing up in Dante controller. It still is labeled AHM Dante, and that's just the name that it had, so it kept that name. So what we want to do is double click on that, First though, I want to show you the device info. It actually is a Wing 64 card. You can see that right here. Dante version is here. So that information is all correct. We just have a different label. So to correct the label, we're going to double click on it, and then we're going to go to device config, and we're just going to name this Wing Dante 64 and hit apply. Are you sure? Yes. So now in routing anyway, it's going to come up as Wing Dante 64, so we know what's going on. So clock status is in another important page. Let me just clear these events. So if we go to clock status, we see Wing. I showed you on the desk that we wanted to internally clock it, and we need to set Wing Dante as our preferred leader, and also we need to enable sync to external clock. So we're enabling this Dante card to externally clock to the Behringer Wing mixer. And then I have an X Dante card installed into an X32 rack, and we are going to route some audio from that and see if we get any signal onto the Wing. And yeah, that's the next step. But we are seeing everything in Dante controller. So let's just go to routing now and check the routing. Wing Dante, or X Dante 2 Wing. And it looks like we have channel 64. Yeah, so we're going to see if we get channel 64, or we get audio on channel 64 on the Wing input, Dante input 64. So let's do that next. All right. So now I'm going to turn on the desk, and the Wing, it does take a moment to boot up, I've noticed. So the Dante card is in there. The first thing we'll notice if we go to setup is that the internal module here is saying none. Basically the desk is like, we don't recognize there's a Dante card in here. And if we go to sources, routing, and we choose module, I'm not sure if we can actually assign the module to an input, but we will try. So we'll change input 1 to a mod, and it actually does let us do that. I'm not sure if it would pass Dante yet. I don't think it will. So to prep the board to receive Dante signals, what we need to do is register the Dante into that modular card slot, and we need to do that in the software. So what we want to do is restart the mixer. We go to shut down, and we're going to hit confirm, and now we can turn off the console. Alternatively, you can use the home and effects buttons to just do a restart, which is what I'll do right now, and then hold down utility, and that is going to give me the options menu. So now I have my console options menu, and if I just close out of this, the options menu is here, but you can only get to that, you're only going to get that wrench if you hold down utility when you power up. So you hit the wrench, and then you type in mod -Dante, apply. And now it does recognize that we have an internal module Dante card there, and it should be ready to go. Okay, so after we registered the Dante internal module, we do need to reset the console again. So we've done that already. And we've patched channel 1 from the X Dante card into channel 64 of the Wing Dante card. And we're just going to go to routing and see if we can patch that in and get some audio here. So we want to choose Dante, unlock, and we're going to patch channel 64 into channel 1 here. So we want to hit channel 1, Dante 64, and we have signal on channel 1. We are currently talking through the X Dante card through an X32 rack. That's plugged into channel 1 of the X32 rack. It's also coming out of channel 1 of the Dante card. on the X32, that's going through Dante controller. It's patched to channel 64 of the wing Dante card, and then we've patched that to channel 1 of the Behringer wing, and we have signal. In this configuration, the head amps would be controlled by the X32 rack. We would really never really do this, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So cool, we've successfully installed a M Dante card into a Behringer wing. Sweet, see you later.